Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the crazy Kidwell chaos. We apologize. Today is going to be a little bit wonky. Okay, let's fess up. It's going to be a lot wonky. If you recall last week, I told you I have a closing. It's actually coming up at 10 a.m. So I've got about 15 minutes with you, and then Eric is going to kind of fill in and finish up for me, because as much as I love our Monday morning coffee times together, my priority is obviously my clients, and that closing is happening this morning. So a lot has already happened. It is way yay early. I'm really honestly, I have my mug of the day, which we'll talk about in a second, but I'm already onto the cold caffeine, my friends, because it has been cuckoo crazy. Obviously, Hurricane Ian, which it is now officially a hurricane, is going to be part of our topic. We have a jam-packed day. It's the end of a quarter. It's the end of the month. It's just a lot of real estate stuff is happening. A couple listings, having some activity. Yes, Eric knows me. There we go. Anyway, so we're going to and by the way, before we do in any of our topics, we woke up to, I guess Eric was working on some final touches for our coffee time, and I heard him let out a big yell. He goes, "Whoa!" And I was like, "What's happening?" And the backhoe or the bobcat or whatever it's called is here in our yard. So there's a little bit of chaos happening to my left, which means that they are finally out here removing all of the additional debris from the backyard, which we were petrified was going to blow around in whatever type of winds we might end up having. And I guess, is this the final grade? Is that kind of what they're doing?
Grade, yes.
Okay, so this is technically the final grade. So they're not only removing all of the additional piles of dirt or sand or mess that they kind of have accumulated over the course of our pool build process, but they are getting that up, dumping it, and then smoothing everything out. So it's definitely progress on our pool story, our pool journey. But more importantly for us right now, it's giving us a lot of calm where the storm is not really keeping us calm. So a couple things, and then we're going to kind of get right into stuff. So first of all, again, good morning to you. I am going to be honest. This is what I choose. This is what I am choosing this morning, but I still love you. And because I love you, and it is the happiest place on earth, I'm sharing with you my cute little Disney mug. I bought all of these dishes. Like, we were out one day. I don't even know why we were there, but we were at Disney for something, I don't know, well over a year ago, out at Epcot, and they had these great dishes. So I got like the whole set and a few of the mugs. You can actually get these at the Disney store at Disney Springs. But at any rate, I love it. The whole thing matches. It's super cute. Anyway, so cheers to you. However you take your coffee, if you've got a little extra something in your coffee this morning, or if you're like me and you're like, okay, that's just for show, because this is where the real deal is. Okay, so if you were with us on Wednesday, our poolside live was a little bit chaotic as well. So if you attempted to join in, thank you for that. That was the first time trying to do it, maybe about 20 yards further away from where I'm sitting right now. So it was good for what we got in, but we missed a lot of the fun stuff. So sorry about that. Eric will fill you in. Again, I want to say happy birthday to Valencio. So Sydney, make sure you tell him that, please. Huh?
He's on too. He commented.
Oh, he did? Excellent. Yay. Okay. Happy birthday. So like I said, today's a little bit chaotic. I literally have to be out of here at 9:15, but I want to tell you a couple of great things that we have going on. We have a special guest today. So right as we introduce our guest, after that little segment is over, then I'm going to skedaddle and head on over to a closing. So is there anything? Let me just double check. Make sure I tried to say hello to most of you this morning, but as soon as we kind of went live, now there's a lot of other people. Tawanda and Greg Odie. Greg, I got your stuff on my calendar, my friend. Jared, yay, you're here from Wales. Love it. Susie Q, I love that we're able to chat and talk in person and not just see your cute little name pop up on our chats. I don't know some of your real names, so I'm just gonna have to go by what you're chatting here. Octzone, Forrest. I wonder who you are, Forrest. That's my son. Love you, buddy. D-Cuz, Valencio again. We were talking about you a minute ago. Anna Maria. Furman, haven't seen you in a while. Hello, my friend. And then, of course, Kennard, our diehard. Kennard, I was just talking about you to a client the other day. We need to add a home to your list, my friend, out in Waterbrook, to our friends Marcia and Jerry Emk. So I want to add that. So remind me later. It's a little bit of a cuckoo crazy day. Kennard, text either Eric or myself so we can give you that lot number, please, to add it to your list. Jim Federico, we were texting bright and early this morning, weren't we, my friend? And then, of course, Rob, our diehard, long time, friend. Okay, so good morning. We will do questions. Eric will probably do those questions, but for me, I'm going to kind of get right into the what's brewing because like I said, I have to kind of skedaddle here in a little bit. But here we go. What's brewing for today? Okay, hold on. There goes the Diet Coke. There we go. Okay, so here is what's brewing today. 3 fun topics of interest I'm sure you're all anxiously awaiting. First is Hurricane Ian. Like we talked about overnight, I went to bed and it was still tropical. Let me slow myself down. Slow my roll, Amy. I know I'm in a hurry, but you're not. Okay. Last night, I went to bed and it was Tropical Storm Ian, and now I woke up and it's Hurricane Ian. That is exactly what we expected, so it's really no surprise. As with anyone that's in the area or the vicinity, we are definitely paying attention. I think Eric has a lovely little picture for us. So as of 8 a.m., this was the last, kind of charting of it, and anyone that lives in an area that could be, would be, should be prone to hurricanes completely understands the, unpredictability.
Yes.
Did I make up that word?
No.
In my dictionarium of wordology, unpredictable. We understand that, everyone laughs and they make jokes about it. Could go here, 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 here. Well, the reality is, how lucky and blessed are we that there is at least some forewarning? Imagine all the generations before us that had no idea until a massive hurricane or storm was on top of them with no warning. So whether or not they get it exactly right, the fact is we know something is coming, and whether it gets us substantially or whether it just kind of grazes past us, someone is going to have some intense, significant wind, maybe flooding, and that's really the two things: is the wind and the water. Eric's going to talk a little bit. He has a very insightful segment that he's going to do once I leave here today. Yes, he's very excited about it. So at any rate, this is again as of 8 a.m. and no matter kind of at the moment where it goes, we're still kind of within the wind range of it, whether we take it head on with an eye or whether the wind is really, I won't say it's irrelevant because we prepare for all of it anyway. And yes, we are preparing. We do have our dog room. We call it the dog room. It's the room under the stairs. We added, when we built this home, we added an additional light and an additional electrical outlet. When we had Hurricane Irma, I think they said it was 5 years ago. That seems like a really long time ago. But 5 years ago, we actually never lost power. And it was pretty intense when it hit us. It was like a 1, I think, Hurricane 1. It was still a lot of wind damage. We just lost a few shingles. Home withheld very, very, very well. But at any rate, we learned when we built this home, maybe a few little comforts for those times. Again, I don't want to knock on wood because we learned what happened last time when that happened. I'm not knocking on my desk. But in the event that we do need to, just kind of hunker down, take a little bit of shelter, then we will do that. And on that note, if you watched our Sunday drive yesterday, I'm just going to reference this really quickly. We build to our climate. Areas on the West Coast that are more prone to earthquakes, they have different building codes specifically for that, active nature, right? And we understand that here we can have the potential for hurricanes. So we have windows that are wind resistant. You notice I did not say impact proof. Wind resistant, usually up to 120, some 140 mile an hour winds, but nothing is going to stop it if a projectile comes through, and the builders are going to tell you that. We have our roof strapped down. They've made some additional improvements to screened enclosures. So there's a lot of things that we do when we build these homes, whether we're talking new construction or a home that's 10 years old. Some of these codes have been in place for a while. We always seem to get better and better with each storm because we learn more and more. But I'm not so much worried about the quality or the construction of our home in the storm. In that regard, we're just worried about, what happens? Do we lose power? Is there any damage from trees and things falling? Because with Hurricane Isabel in Virginia, that was a long time ago. And we literally saw tree after tree fall into our neighbors' houses across the street, crushing, crushing, crushing. It was absolutely a very significant time in our lives to witness the power of Mother Nature. We do not have any of those types of trees around us right now that gives us immediate concern. But at any rate, we are taking precautions. Eric's going to fill you in on that. So that was our first topic. Our second topic of our What's Brewing today is my kids' closing. So if you've been following, as you know, my oldest daughter and her husband are closing on their second home. This, by the way, these are two pictures. That is myself, my daughter, and my son-in-law standing in front of their beautiful new home. And let me just give a shout out. The other picture is my daughter, my son-in-law, and Brandon Resnick, who is a builder with D.R. Horton. And I will tell you, I have never, and this is not my first go around with this guy. I am absolutely jumping for joy every single time I find out that he is assigned to one of my clients' homes, because there is an immediate release and exhale of, man, he's got us. He is the best. And 90% of it is his personality and how that gets us through the wonky roller coaster of new construction. So Brandon already knows how much I love and adore him. He knows that we are his biggest fan, but I want to tell you, if you happen to see this guy walking through the streets in Waterloo, or if he ever ends up being lucky enough to be your builder, he actually is mine for Kathy. You've got a home in there. He's your builder too. Let me just tell you, this man is top notch, absolutely spectacular. Love and adore him, and so thankful for him. And for all the builders out there, they take on a lot. But this particular one, he happens to be a step above all of the other ones. Okay, and now we're going to talk about Webb Oasis. So real quick, before I get my interview going here, this is Webb Oasis Week. Webb Oasis is a 55 plus community located here in Winter Garden. We've got clients that are already under contract here in this community. They're just now kind of starting to build, but we have the sneak peek this week, today at 7 p.m., tomorrow at 7 p.m., Wednesday at 7 p.m., and Thursday at 7 p.m. We are premiering their 4 brand new decorated models. We get the sneak peek. We're calling it the invitational dress rehearsal. The grand opening is not until November, so we are definitely in sooner than others. Other people are walking the models, but they're not just open. They're not just open for anyone just to come in and walk through. So we actually are very fortunate to have our friend Corey, who actually is a site agent, sales representative for Pulte over there at Webb Oasis, who is going to be our guest today. So we're going to go to that. So after this, by the way, after this interview, I have really got to scoot because I've got 2 minutes left. I'm going to do a 2-minute interview, and then I'm going to say peace out, love you all. And Eric is going to step in for me, and I'm going to carry my Diet Coke with me to closing. And then we will follow up with you. But join me tonight at 7 p.m. for that video. But let's go ahead and hit our interview, and let's see who our guest is today. All right, so joining us today from Webb Oasis, our 55 plus community that we talked about that we are featuring all week, is Corey Wilson, our dear bud over there who is going to take care of us. He is our special guest for today, so he's going to give us the actual, the inside scoop or the information on the community that might not really be out there for everyone. Since, I guess, Corey, you said the big grand opening of those models is probably not until November-ish, although they are still walkable now, right?
That's correct. So we're planning a big grand opening. It's going to be coming out soon. But right now we're just kind of giving sneak peeks of the models until we're ready to open.
Yes, and thank you for the sneak peek, by the way, and for our viewers. That was really exciting to be able to kind of feature you guys. Everyone is well aware that we are getting that invitational dress rehearsal, which we called it, and I'm sure they'll be coming out to see them in person. So a couple of quick questions, because you are obviously the expert in your community. I say in all of my videos that I do not represent the builder or the community, that I'm here just to kind of assist and to be that liaison to get the people out there in the world, essentially to you. Hopefully they'll call me first. They better. But then to kind of get them connected with you. So a couple of questions. Ultimately, is Webb Oasis in general, can you tell us a little bit about the different series from the villas to the echelon, and what is the difference and what does that mean?
Yeah, so we have 3 different series of homes that we build. We have our smallest, which is our villa series. Those homes are going to be 1579 square feet. They are completely turnkey, so you're going to get all of the same amenities that all of our homes have, which is the lawn care, the internet, the television, access to the beautiful amenity center, but you're also going to get exterior paint and roof replacement with those villas.
Oh.
So yeah, so that's something that's really great that we offer in our smaller floor plans. And then the next up is going to be the Distinctive Series, and that is going to be built on our 50-foot home sites. Those homes range from about 1,600 square feet to just over 2,000 square feet. It also features probably our most popular floor plan in there is our Mystique. And then finally, our Echelon or our Estate Series floor plans, those are built on our 65-foot home sites.
Nice.
And
Excellent.
those are kind of the larger floor plans that we offer.
Awesome. So you mentioned a second ago amenities, and obviously we know 55 plus communities are always amenity rich. I think that Webb Oasis has a few extra little things that you don't necessarily always see. So what are some of the amenities from top to bottom? What do our residents there get to enjoy on a daily basis?
Yeah, well, first of all, there's our beautiful front entrance. So features a fantastic water feature fountain. And then a coastal styled guarded gated entry. So there'll be 24/7 security gated as you drive into the community. And then right after the gates, it will feature our resort style pool. So that will welcome residents home every day. Beyond that is the 12,000 plus square foot amenity center. So inside the amenity center will be the fitness center. There will be several different breakout rooms, the cellar, which will kind of feature for our wine aficionados, and then also a brew area for those that love their morning coffee. So all of that is going to be state of the art and equipped for our residents to utilize. There'll be an outdoor grill pavilion space. And then the other thing that's nice is that we have a lifestyle director who will be on staff. I call her our cruise director on land. So she'll be featured there at the amenity center, planning special events, karaoke nights, trivia nights, food truck park nights, all sorts of different events are all planned right there with our lifestyle director on site. And, an additional amenity is our community park. So we have a community park near the backside of the community with walking trails along the conservation. And then probably the thing that I'm the most excited about is several of our home sites throughout the community are close to see our neighbor just a few miles down the road. So each night the sky will be lit up with the Disney fireworks.
We cannot say that enough, how lucky we are that this Winter Garden area, this Horizon West area, these villages that we have is so perfectly located to benefit from being in Mickey's backyard, but to not feel like you're in the tourist district at all. You are
Exactly.
in residential areas, and it's lovely. 55 plus, obviously, that's a different demographic, but the surrounding villages and areas, you've got, families just starting out, and some of those that are empty nesting, maybe they're considering the 55 plus. But to be right here, like literally, you can go, you know what, let's go get a funnel cake and then just hop in your car and go get one. I think that's amazing. So you're exactly right. The view with the lit up sky is going to be awesome. So one more question. I think you actually mentioned it. So just reference it again. The smallest square footage is the villa. And what was that square footage?
It's 1,579 square feet.
And then is the largest the Mystique Grand? What is the largest square footage?
The largest is actually our Stellar Grand. So that's going to be just over 3,500 square feet.
Wow.
And that's in our Echelon series.
Perfect. Okay. So good. Good information to have. Nice that 55 plus doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be a tiny little home. You can still have a luxurious home with plenty of space to move and entertain and not feel like 55 plus means small, right? Well, I am so freaking excited about this community. I am so grateful to you, most sincerely from the bottom of my heart, for letting us get that sneak peek and to be able to showcase those absolutely gorgeous models. I'm so excited. We've already got some clients that contracted in there in the very beginning, kind of those initial releases. We were all standing by on that computer, logging in, trying to get our appointment time. And so I do have some people that are already under contract there. Construction is hopefully starting soon for them. I know some are already well under construction in the community, but I really cannot thank you enough for joining us. We really, really, really appreciate it. And again, everybody, this is Corey Wilson with Webb Oasis, the 55 plus community here in Winter Garden. Corey, you are the best. And now I know you've got some happy people outside your door that would like to be happier by being inside it. So we will let you go. Enjoy your day. And again, love and hugs to you, my friend. And I will see you very soon, of course.
Hey, how's it going? What's going on? Hey, it's me. Hold on, wait, wrong one. There we go. Hey, it's me. How's it going? So, I was gonna do the little because so that was I don't know if you could. I'm sure you could tell. That was taped yesterday, and then so we did it like the Today Show. We taped it early and then ran it so Amy could get out. But special thanks to Corey, and I saw we had some questions come in about Webb Oasis. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure. I think this is. Oh no, Kim, that is a question from now. What are the price points there? So, because I added the comment, duh. So I'll just answer that question since I put it up on the screen, and then we'll talk about where we're going from here. They have the villas they have, which, by the way, that we've got a tour of the Ellenwood that will be on Wednesday night. Just under 1,600 square feet. The starting price is in the low 500s. Which for a 1,600 foot villa is fairly pricey. The prices at Webb Oasis are based on their location, and their location is phenomenal. So the price points are a little higher. So you can probably get one of those villas well decorated for $600,000, which is a lot for a villa. But again, lovely spot. And we did a Sunday drive yesterday. Showed you where a lot of the villas are going to be. Kind of in the back where the old Hartzog Road is. You can, if you'd like, he mentioned the Stellar Grand is a very large home, 3,500 square feet. You can spend as much money as you want on those. The lot premiums have been fairly high. They went in through a pause of selling, and now I think they're back to it. They're definitely building there. So you can spend anywhere from low 500s up to $1 million in that community. So where we are today is now Amy is on the road with our son-in-law and daughter, and they're going to closing. So I'm going to take whatever questions you have. I'm going to give you my unified Cantori theory of the Hurricane Ian that's coming, and then we'll go from there. But I want to restate, this is Webb Oasis week, and that is sort of my fault and my doing. Oh, hey, Valencia, what's going on? We went out and shot the home tours last week, and you'll see when you see the home tours, there's a lot of tape and things on the walls and stuff, because Corey let us come in and tape early, so we're like the first people to get in there and get a tour of their really beautiful models. And so I said, well, I can't just roll one of these out every week, because by the time we roll the fourth one out a month from now, there'll be plenty of other home tours out there. So I'm a little competitive, and Amy is the top realtor in this area. So I was like, well, we need to show these models first. So I said, we gotta, and by the way, they're doing the final grade outside. And so that was Ginny. You're going to hear lots of dogs. But so we're going to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I saw that Rob asked, is there going to be another Wednesday wine evening this week? Maybe. So we're kind of planning on it, but we're moving the kids into their house. We've got those things. I think if we do it, we'll probably do 7 p.m., a quick thing, and then run the premiere of the Ellenwood Villa right after that. I think that may be how we do it. But I am committed to, if and when we get hurricanes, and if we have power and all those things, I'm gonna we'll go live from the poolside at any time. So be ready. If you like and subscribe, like this video, subscribe to the page, and ring the little bell, you'll get a notification that let me go there. You'll get a notification that we've gone live. So Amy and I have a little bit of a different feeling about the hurricane. She likes to thread the needle. She would love to have a storm, and candidly, it's because then she's like, then I'll have a day off. We don't want any major damage. We don't want any major impacts. I would like it to miss us. I would like it to go into the middle of the Gulf and turn around and go south and peter out and not hit land at all, because we're going to have some major impacts. And on that note, I'll give you my unified theory of Jim Cantore. Our neighbors, Brian and Megan, who are also clients, but they're mostly friends and neighbors, they moved here from California, and they had questions. And if you watched Sunday Drive, you saw they texted us right in the middle of the thing saying, "So what do you think about this hurricane?" So this is my unified Cantore theory, which is lots of forecasts vary. Lots of things are variable, and certainly right now the cone. If you look at this thing, the cone, the hurricane could go up through Fort Myers and across the state, or it could stay to the west and head toward Panama City, Tallahassee, wherever it is. But here's how you know what the professionals think. Find Jim Cantore on the Weather Channel. Wherever he is, that's when you got to pucker up a little bit and go, uh-oh. And so I turned on the Weather Channel this morning, and Jim Cantore is in Clearwater, Florida. So he's right there on the map. It's not really him. But so if you see that, and if you watch the Sunday Drive, I think I made a comment. First of all, anybody along the coast, sincerely, pray for Florida along the coast, because it's going to be at minimum a Category 3, could be a Category 4. I haven't heard the F word, that word. We don't want that word. Clearwater and St. Petersburg and Tampa in particular are very susceptible to storm surge, and that hopefully that is not where it's going to hit. It's a very strange Floridian thing. We've lived here for almost 10 years now. It's a very strange Floridian thing to be rooting for a hurricane to turn somewhere else, because when you're rooting for it to turn somewhere else, well, they don't need another hurricane in Pensacola. They just don't. They don't need it further south. They don't need it anywhere. But so there's a little bit of crossing your fingers that it goes somewhere else. Because if you look there on the map, probably so we're a little bit to the west of where you see Kissimmee. So Kissimmee is a little bit east of Disney World. So we're right there. So we're like kind of on the K of Kissimmee on that map. So the worst possible impact for us is a hurricane that comes from the east through Melbourne, or a hurricane that comes from the west through St. Petersburg, because that's where we have the least amount of land. So right now, we're really hoping for a wobble to the west. In any case, if it hits as a Category 3, we're not going to see a tremendous amount of what would worry me a lot here. We had a Category 1/2 in Irma back in 2017. It took 3 shingles off the roof. There was some damage here locally, but it wasn't like horrific. So we're hoping that it moves a little bit. But watch for Jim Cantore. Where's Cantore go? That'll tell you everything you need to know. So let me see if I've got questions, and then we'll let's see. I think I saw Lando. Hi, Amy. We're building in Waterbrook. Our house has windows, some plumbing, and mechanical roof. We don't have a garage door, front door. Should we worry? Pre-drywall inspections in 1 week. Well, so Lando, I'm assuming you mean worry about the hurricane. No. If you've got if you're getting ready for pre-drywall, then you're close to weather tight. It might get wet in there. That's not going to hurt anything necessarily. If you just mean in general, in terms of the schedule of things, then these days the process takes a long time. So that would be my biggest worry: is it going to slow you down as far as your just the schedule you want to be on? But it's a very difficult thing to talk about in terms of hurricane damage, because we need to prepare for everything. We don't really feel like there's a lot of mortal danger per se, but it is something you always want to be aware and be ready for anything. And so on the construction sites, the good news is you don't own the house yet. We're a little worried the kids are going to buy their house. which means they own it. And so one of the things I have to work on today is we have pods being delivered. And so there's going to be an empty pod as scheduled right now. There's going to be an empty pod in their driveway on Wednesday. Well, I don't want there to be 70-mile-an-hour winds carrying that pod into their house or down the street or anything. So we gotta work on that. So let's see what we got here. Greg Odie. Hey, Greg. If our new house build is damaged by Ian before closing, does the build? Yes. So before closing means you own it. So at the moment that you sign that last piece of paper and they hand you the keys, and most importantly, when the loan gets funded, or when the home gets funded, you own it. Up until that moment, you do not own it. So, the most awkward thing would be, candidly, the situation that my kids are in, which is you buy the house and then the next day there's a hurricane. Now, candidly, so the first house they bought, right here in the neighborhood where we live now, that was the year of, we had another hurricane. That came through the day after they closed. It's like something about they buy a house and that happens. But yeah, if you don't own it, it's their issue. Now it becomes your issue in terms of timing, because your mortgage company, if you have a mortgage, or you're not going to get a certificate of occupancy with a damaged home necessarily, or the lender may not. They might say, well, we have to wait till the home is repaired. But again, the damage that we're probably anticipating is going to be roof shingles and, for the most part, flying debris is kind of the big thing. So all the construction sites this week, really bad week for them. It's the end of the quarter. So they were already just crushed with getting things ready for this end of the quarter. They're trying to close on a lot of homes. But now they're having to spend a lot of time, tying down debris, getting things into safe places, because as you can imagine, those construction sites are just filled with things that'll go flying around if we get a lot of wind. So we did that. Price point for Oasis decos, I think we talked about that again, 500 up to $1 million, depending on the size of home that you build and your lot premium and the design options you put in. And that's that. So everyone says hi everybody. Jarrett. Notice you're wearing a golf shirt. So yeah, this is my Emerald Bay, Sandals Emerald Bay. Candidly, it's been a really, really busy week, and I own 10 or more Heart and Home Orlando shirts. They're all dirty, so I haven't done laundry. So I just grabbed a shirt. This is from our trip to Sandals Emerald Bay in the Bahamas. And my handicap, I don't play enough to have a handicap. I probably am like an 18. I'm not good. I'm not bad. I mean, I can swing it, but I'm not good. So, but if I get out to Wales, we'll go play in the wind, and that could be interesting. Wendy B, off topic. I'm car shopping. Is your Sunday drive car a Lincoln? Yes, it is. It is an Aviator. So, what an interesting question that you noticed. It's a Lincoln. It's a Lincoln Aviator. It's a lease, and So Amy, when we were looking for that car, Amy we were minivan people we have 4 kids. So I myself, at one point we were a 2 minivan family. And when we first got married and we first had Forrest, who's there on the chat. What's up, Forrest? Forrest came home from the hospital in a Pontiac, 2-door Pontiac Grand Am. And that I remember specifically because putting in the car seat as a new father was the most nerve-wracking thing ever. Very shortly thereafter, we bought our first minivan, and Amy drove that for a while, and then we got another minivan, but I then drove the old minivan. My role has always been to take the old car, and I drive that, and then Amy gets the new car. So then she graduated when the kids got older to Honda Pilots because she didn't want the mom van anymore. And then this time she was like, well, I'm sort of, then we got a big a Nissan Armada, which was ginormous. It had an electrical problem. She didn't like it. And so she wanted something that wasn't a Honda Pilot, but had a lot of space because she takes people around to see homes and things. And so that was a long explanation to tell you that I really love the Lincoln Aviator. It's really, really nice. We've got one problem with it. It's got a special windshield wiper thing where it feeds the window washer fluid into the windshield wiper, and it doesn't work. Like it drains out all the windshield wiper fluid. That's the only problem we've had. It runs beautifully. The suspension is unreal, really good. So yes, Lincoln Aviator, absolutely. Let's see what we got. So this is my daughter who's texting me, so I'm gonna check it just to make sure that we're good. Oh yeah, she's reminding me that I have a showing at 10:30. So Amy has a bunch of listings right now, including one that's over in Orlando, which is just beautiful. It's got a pool. It's on half an acre, and got an offer this morning. The folks that are seeing it today for the second time are likely to make an offer, so that one will be going soon. We've got several other listings, and so just because that came up, things are slow, and they're going to be slow this week too because of the hurricane. But we've got some really, really wonderful homes that are really well priced. That's usually the key, is whether or not they're well priced. And the fact is, it's just interest rates went over 6%, and I think the buying world went, uh-oh, what does this mean? However, I will share with you, I said this to Amy yesterday, and I really mean it. Interest rates are low. And what I mean by that is they're not low relative to the 3% you could get 6 months ago, but they're low compared to what they're going to be next year. So I think we're just going to hit this period of time where people have to readjust their expectations a little bit, both on the buying and the selling side, and say, sellers are going to have to say, well, look, my house is still worth 25% more than I bought it for 2 years ago. It's not worth 40% more, which is what I'd hoped for, but they'll have to make that adjustment. But still, the equity people have in their homes, if they bought, 6 months ago or earlier, a year ago or earlier, the equity is still fantastic. So you can sell and still take, that the money's not real until you sell it. Equity is theoretical. So, because anything can change. Buyers are going to have to adjust their expectations a little bit, because if you're buying based on monthly payment, if you're financing, which most people are, you've got to say, okay, well, I thought I was a $600,000 buyer. Now maybe I'm a $500,000 buyer. That will affect sales prices, and on we go. But I think we're in that little time where we're all kind of taking a little breath and going, what's going to happen here? But I can tell you almost without reservation that interest rates right now are low relative to what they're going to be. The Federal Reserve has decided that they've used the word pain. They said they're going to cause some pain in the housing market, and that's where they've focused in order to make an impact on inflation. I can tell you, as in someone whose family business is real estate, to hear the chairman of the Federal Reserve say we're going to cause pain in the housing market is not your favorite thing. But we need to understand that probably temporary, probably a temporary pain, but also we're going to go up from here. So if you are in the need to, have to, or want to category, it's still a good time to buy and still a good time to sell because you got a lot of equity in your house. Let's see. Hey, it's Forrest. Let's see. Rob, I remember a time when a small mansion could be had for $30,000 and $1 million in the bank meant you never had to work, could live in luxury. Today, a large house and you're done. Amen. I have no other comment other than to say, part of the reason we have this, inflation is I don't think it's the biggest part. I think the biggest part of inflation is that we essentially had free money for several years, for a decade. Interest rates were practically zero from the Federal Reserve, which meant that they could go so low. We're on the other side of that now, and we have to kind of pay for it. But wages are up too, so people make more money now. We have a little more disposable income, so prices for everything go up accordingly because they're like, well, if you're willing. Yeah. By the way, Wendy, as you're looking for that Lincoln Aviator, They're not cheap. So, everything is going up. But yes, Rob, I mean, I would love to be in the time. I'd love to be in the time of wages that we're in now with the time of prices that we were in, 15, 20 years ago. That would be awesome. Let's see. Who are the major home insurance providers in Florida? Whoo. Okay. So for the next 3 hours, I'll be talking to you about home property insurance in Florida. So here's the real honest answer, D-Town. I don't know. So we have an insurance brokerage that we deal with for homes that we have purchased, and for our clients, when they ask, we recommend Sile Insurance Agency, and they just find them. So I called, when we moved here in 2014, I called many of the major companies looking to I did line up home insurance, and most of the national folks said, well, we don't provide insurance policies in Florida. That made me worry. So our original house was with Olympus Insurance, and candidly, I don't even know, and Sile arranged for that. And candidly, I don't even know off the top of my head who our insurance provider is right now. We have insurance, but Sile lined it up and they said, okay, we found you this policy. Here's the policy. This is the payment. And we sent it. It's very, very, very difficult. And Hurricane Ian is exactly your reason why. We also have an economic and political controversy because we've been talking in the state for a long time about solving this problem. Property insurance rates are very, very high in many places, not particularly, I think, in Orlando, in this area. But, oh, hey, Jen Ross. But they're not particularly like super high, in my opinion. But on the coast, certainly, it can be very difficult to find them. And insurance companies have raised premiums to the point where it becomes unaffordable, but you have to have insurance. So, to maintain your financing and that kind of thing. So it becomes very difficult. So I would say call an insurance agency. It's always good to have a professional navigating something that's a little more complex. And in Florida, that certainly is complex. Let's see. Yeah, Susie Q. Yeah, in 1998, it was 7.5%. Now, so we're not historically like through the roof where, interest rates have been 12 and 15% sometimes in history. Of course, in 1998, homes cost a little less, but people didn't make as much money. So we're just going through a little shift. Daniel and Erica, rate just increased again. Yeah, hoping in a lock window before the next increase. I think you'll probably get there, but the other thing is, shoot Amy an email about that, and we'll by the way, these folks are building. They're our friends and clients, and let's talk about it. There's a couple options out there that we probably want to look at and just say. So there are some builders that are offering a rate lock at the moment. D.R. Horton, as of last time I checked, was offering a 4.9. Your builder obviously will vary, but there are also national companies out there that will offer you like a 90-day rate lock now. So the question is, though, you might lose your builder incentive by using a different financing company. So it's a time to weigh and measure those things, because that rate, a half a point jump in your interest rate can be devastating. So if you want to talk about that, shoot Amy an email and we can talk about it. Jen Ross put up the sunflower. I don't know if will that say over there. Hey, Jen Ross. So Jen Ross, our best friends. We dropped off some water and sunflowers for them the other day because I was at Walmart for hurricane preparation, and it was just a madhouse in the Walmart water aisle. Now, candidly, that's why I went to Walmart. I saw the first forecast that showed the cone coming our way with a Category 3 hurricane, and because I'm an experienced Floridian now, I jumped up and said, "Do I have enough water?" I was like, "Nope, I don't have enough water," and so I went, and every other experienced Floridian was at Walmart. It was cleared out the water aisle. So, Jen, I'm hoping you're not going to need that, but thanks for coming to see us. Yes, Lisa, property taxes in Florida compared to New Jersey. Absolutely. That's the other thing. When you talk about property insurance rates versus property taxes, for sure. That's one of the best things about here is even in counties where the tax rate is high, it's not high compared to other states, and there is no state tax in Florida as well. So in a lot of states, that's 3, 4, 5, 6% that you're saving right off the top. Now, we have to pay for things too and usually we do that with road tolls. But so Florida actually has been rated as a fairly expensive state to live in, but in terms of the baseline things that you have to pay for, it can be lower. Javi, does nearby commercial shopping plaza public negative townhomes resale value? Okay, that's a great question, Javi. And as with most things, the answer is it depends. If you have if your townhome, I would say, looks directly into the back of the Publix, right? That could be negative, but I have tended to see, now this is not a scientific answer, I haven't looked into the data, but I tend to think that having a Publix near your home increases the property value, because that's what as somebody in real estate, we get people that call us from all over the country, all over the world, saying, I want to buy here. It's one of the first questions they ask is, where is the shopping? Specifically, where is the Publix? So having a shopping plaza, I think, can be a positive. Now, sometimes, something to really think about, and Jen Ross being here with us today reminds me of this. So when they built the complex known as Watermark down the road, they were selling these bungalows with front porches that look out to the Disney fireworks, and they had banners on the front that said, "Watch the Disney fireworks from your porch every night." That's how they sold them, and they had a plan for a commercial center in front of that that was supposed to be 2 stories. It was going to be commercial on the bottom and apartments on the top, but just 2 stories and down a hill. Well, next thing you know, there's 3-story apartment buildings right in front of there and a commercial center in front. Now, the commercial center, I think, is a huge draw for that community because it's the mark. You may have seen it on some of our Sunday drives. I think that's a phenomenally great thing for that neighborhood in terms of property value. The apartments, specifically for those homes along that one row, I think was a negative because they bought it with the idea that they could sit and watch the Disney fireworks, and then they put a building in front. Now, I don't think the builder knew at the time they were going to be 3-story apartments there. I don't think they were being deceptive. I think it just was a surprise. So that's one of the things to think about as you look for, whether it be new construction or in an established neighborhood, look and see what the future plans are. What's the zoning of the places in front of you? Here in Horizon West, which is primarily where we live and work, right here in Mickey Mouse's backyard, apartment complexes have been the thing that have tended to surprise people, not shopping plazas. Shopping plazas tend to make people really happy, unless you happen to be right there next to the parking lot. And even then, if you know it going in, your lot premium was probably lower, and so you probably saved some money on that end. Hope that helps. Jacqueline V. Did Taylor Morrison bail out of Harvest Innovation? Haven't heard anything about this community starting to build. So, Jacqueline, great question. So, on the Sunday drive that we did this week, we have a client that just closed on their home up in Villages at Mineola Hills. Neil and Jill. And Neil and Jill, we know them from their son, Connor, playing soccer with our son, Dawson. But he works for the company that prepares the areas for the infrastructure to go in. And he shared that as you go down, I'm going to try to think of my norths and souths, but on the Del Webb Oasis and West Haven and Ovation side of Hartog Road, they have now been cleared to get the infrastructure at least, I don't know if it's done yet, but it's at least set to be able to go. So they're going to be able to move forward. West Haven and Ovation, Del Webb Oasis, Highland Ridge by Meritage, those had been slowed down. They're on that side of the road. On the other side of the road, they do not have clearance yet. And that side of the road is Harvest at Ovation and Osprey Ranch. There's an apartment complex back in there on that side. That side has not been closed. So they, to my knowledge, they haven't bailed out of it. As we drove by, there's still the piping for all of the underground plumbing is sitting there on top of the ground. And I don't know the specific details only that it's a water infrastructure issue. And so our son-in-law is a civil engineer for Winter Park, and he has connections with the civil engineers for other parts of Orange County. And we'll check with him and see if he can make a call over there and just see when the deal is. It's a bad situation as far as just, but I'm pretty sure, I'm not aware that they've started to sell a lot in there either. So I could be wrong. If somebody knows, let me know. But West Haven Innovation is the side where now they're starting to build, which is good. But, one of our clients over there got notification that his home was in fact going to take more than 2 years from the time he contracted on in order to move into it. So he has some options there. A little bit crazy these times. So, Joseph, what do you think of Rivington and DeBerry? Love it. I love it. It's beautiful. We have some friends there. Wiltsey and Ingve just closed on a home 2 weeks ago there with Dreamfinders. KHOV is up there, and MI is up there in that community. Now it is so that's basically on a diagonal, the opposite side of Orlando from where we live and where most of the business we do is. But so it's a little bit different vibe. It's also a lot of people that call us from out of state and out of the country are, they want to know about proximity to Disney. DeBerry is a great community for proximity to Daytona Beach. It's you're up in the northeast corner, so it's just a little scoot over to the Atlantic side beaches, and it's just out there. It's just beautiful out there. I really really like it. That's all I have to say about that. So let me I'm going to give you a what I'm watching just because I want to talk about it, and then we'll see if we have any more questions, and then I've got to get to a showing. But let's see, where is my what I'm watching? Because I'm excited. I get to actually do the what I'm watching. So I'm talking about my son Forrest a lot today, who is one of our moderators on the chat there. And Jarrett, I'd love to know if you're still with us out there in Wales, what you think about the show. Welcome to Wrexham, which is Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. So Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool actor, among other things. Rob McElhenney on the show. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. They bought a soccer club, which is in the National League, which is the 5th tier of English Welsh soccer. And the reason I say I'm talking about my son Forrest is I'm the only member of my family that doesn't have like historical Welsh descent. Not dissent, like Dissent. There has been some historical Welsh descent as well, but descent meaning like my ancestors don't come from Wales, but all of theirs do. And in fact, digging through Ancestry.com, they have some pretty like prominent Welsh history. And our son Forrest, our oldest, has really, really, really latched on to his Welsh history. He is learning to, I think, Forrest, aren't you on Duolingo? Like, I think he's learning to speak Welsh. And so it's really, this series is really neat because it's mostly about Wales. It's mostly about the town and what the soccer club means to them. And soccer is very important, football, as I should say, since we're talking about Welsh football. It's been important in our family's life. I actually developed a soccer club called Yorktown FC back in Virginia where we lived. And because it was the game that Forrest loved to play. And so we're huge Liverpool fans. So we can still say, come on, you Reds, with Wrexham, who are still in the national. I won't. It's not really a spoiler. You can look it up. So this is about them trying to get promoted into League Two, which is ironically the 4th tier of English soccer. And spoiler, they did not get promoted the first year, even though the series covers their first year. They're doing quite well this year. So it's been an exciting thing to watch, and mostly for the Welsh culture of things. So that's what I'm watching. And then, so just check and see if we have any other questions I didn't get to. I think I got them, but price points. If our new house is damaged. Do they build single story? Del Webb Oasis, do they build single story with no wall to wall carpets? That is design option, and absolutely they have that. You can do that there. I believe that most of those homes come with a little more tile than carpet anyway. So you're just talking about the bedrooms, extending the harder surface floor there. But they definitely can do that. And most 55 plus communities, that's definitely an option they go to before. I don't know if you can hear in the background. And I don't know how much Amy talked about this, but I think they might be almost done doing the final grade in our pool, which is very exciting. But it's not very exciting to Zoe, who is my daughter's beagle, who is over there barking. So if you hear howling, that's what that is. So I'm going to get myself to a showing. I will remind you before I go to like and subscribe, please. It really does help us when you like and subscribe. It just helps get the videos seen more. And we're producing a lot of content this week. So hopefully you folks will watch it, like it, and subscribe it. Definitely ring the bell. Subscribe and ring that bell for notifications, because we will be going live from the lanai. And we may even just put the camera up and let it ride so you guys can see if we get a hurricane. We didn't lose power in the last major hurricane we had. Now we were at a different house. So who knows? We've lost power here a few times in thunderstorms. So if we have power and if it's meaningful to watch, we will we'll definitely turn on the camera in the back. Amy may sit and chat with you about the hurricane coming through. We'll see how it goes. Maybe the power will go out. Maybe if it's really intense, we won't. We're not going to jeopardize our safety, but we should be pretty well protected. And our lanai is enclosed and covered, so we should be good. As always, remember, you can find Amy on Instagram and TikTok and all of these other places that where you get your social media. We don't do a lot of some of the obscure ones, but we do Instagram, TikTok. You can see us on Facebook. And, of course, YouTube seems like it's our home. So I'm going to hit a little wrap button. Oh, I'll remind you that Amy is the best way. Text her at 407-848-8042. And here's the thing. That is her cell phone number. And you can text her and call her anytime. Text is the best because usually there's something going on. But I really it's important to share that she answers her own phone. We have Yanil and Kennard, Crystal and Caitlin who help us out from time to time, particularly Yanil and Kennard. They're available to help with things, but Amy, the part of the business that she loves is helping people. So if you have a question about something obscure, if you want to know more about her Lincoln Aviator, send her a text. She'll talk to you. And we had Brian and Megan from the other our neighbors I was telling you about came over, brought us some cookies yesterday, and Amy couldn't get off the phone. She was with a client, and I kind of waved at her. I was like, Brian and Megan are here, and she's like, I can't, because it really matters to her. It doesn't matter how obscure the question is. She really, really, really does care. And so please do send her a text or give her a call if you need anything, and certainly buying or selling real estate. But with that, I'll give you her little stay safe, stay well. Remember, we love you, and happy house hunting.